23 News right now.
Hundreds of homeowners are wondering what to do now that the government told them no to offer them ice storm assistance.
Metal thieves are at work in green country, stealing everything, even the kitchen sink.
Idol fever, it is getting hot, and one green country singer has her eyes on Hollywood.
Breaking news, breaking weather, solving problems. This is Fox 23 News at 9.
We begin tonight with breaking weather and the temperatures dropping.
Chief Meteorologist John Slater is tracking this big change for us. John, what is the latest?
All right, the latest is that cold front is moving into the Tulsa metro area right now. There's not a whole lot of moisture with this storm system, so we're not anticipating any significant snowfall accumulations. But we will see some light rain and drizzle change over to a light wintry mix before ending after midnight. And with temperatures dropping well below freezing over the next several hours and the roads being wet, the big story is the roads will freeze up overnight tonight through the early morning hours. So not a big storm system, but enough moisture on the roads when it freezes to cause significant travel problems overnight through the early morning hours. Let's check out temperatures right now. Ahead of the front, we're in the 40s. The front is moving right into Tulsa at this time. Temperatures rapidly dropping into the 20s, not too far to the northwest of Tulsa with strong northwesterly winds, meaning wind chills are already down in the teens northwest of Tulsa. The weather headlines: strong cold front coming in right now. Light rain changing to a light wintry mix before ending after midnight. That means some freezing drizzle and some snow flurries. Most places, little if any snowfall accumulation. But again, with the moisture on the roads, the wet roads will freeze up overnight tonight through the early morning hours, especially elevated roadways, bridges and overpasses, on-ramps and off-ramps could have a glaze of ice late tonight through the early morning hours, so allow yourself some extra time. All right, waking up tomorrow with the kiddos. It's going to be cold, mostly cloudy. All precipitation should be over before 6, 7 o'clock in the morning here in Tulsa. It will be cold. Actual air temperature I'm forecasting 20 with a northwest breeze at 15. The feels like temperature tomorrow morning, 10 degrees. Winter making a comeback. The 7-day forecast, that's coming up.
All right, John, tonight, weeks after the ice storm, it claims a life.
Yeah, a 70-year-old man in Creek County died tonight while trimming his trees. The sheriff's office says a limb fell on his head. Now, this comes after FEMA denied individual assistance to homeowners who need help cleaning up their property and making repairs. Fox 23's Abby Alford joins us in Creek County. She is live tonight, and she has more on the need. Abby.
That's right, Cher. Right behind me where is one of the tree limbs fell on the man. Now, I just talked to the daughter, and she says that he may have been there for at least a day. Now, to our understanding, this is the first homeowner to die since the storm cleanup. But, you know, there have been a number of injuries involving chainsaws, cutting down people's trees, and other types of storm debris cleanup. But that's exactly why the state says that FEMA needs to help so we don't do this on our own.
I'm having a hard time getting somebody to help clean up my mess. Really am.
79-year-old Lucy Worth physically can't clean up this mess.
I told everybody that I was not able to get out and do anything. I do use a cane the biggest part of the time. And I said I cannot get out and do it.
Even if she could, she can't find anyone to do the job.
I have called different sources and I have got refused because they claim they're too busy to help me.
Yet the federal government denied individual assistance, says Oklahoma has enough community resources to help out.
But right now the calls are just going to keep coming.
Rebuilding Together, a volunteer group that helps homeowners in need, says applications grew 7 times more than it normally sees. Now volunteers say they're tapped.
And we just need as many able, willing bodies as possible.
But it's going to take a community effort so people like Lucy can get the good news. Help is on their way.
So I said, hallelujah. I'm so glad to know that. And I'm really thankful that they are. Really am.
But not everybody can get that assistance. That's why Governor Brad Henry is in the process of appealing FEMA's denial. Now, our neighbor, Missouri, was also denied that individual FEMA assistance. So for right now, FEMA's only offering assistance to city and county governments. Reporting live here in Creek County, Abby Alford, Fox 23 News.
All right, thank you, Abby. Now, the city of Tulsa and the surrounding areas are helping out by simply picking up debris. If you would like to find out where crews are going next, you can head to our website. It is fox23.com. Just make sure you click on links and reminders.
Copper used to be like gold to thieves, but thieves are now turning a profit that's 3 or 4 times the price of copper. In the past 13 days, $130,000 worth of stainless steel has come up missing in Tulsa County. Fox 23's Noel Newton joins us now live in our newsroom with a warning from deputies. Noel.
Since new copper laws went into effect limiting the amount someone can take to a scrapyard for profit, deputies have noticed an increase in steel thefts. Your car can be worth a couple $100s to thieves, or stealing like major materials from industrial parks can be worth thousands. Deputies say if you don't lock it up, it will come up missing.
If a thief's out to steal, I guess they're out to steal whatever they can find they can profit from.
In this case, they're after steel.
It's an unregulated metal that the guys can steal, take it over to the various scrap yards.
Tulsa County investigator Jim Wolf says no questions asked.
They're just going to go ahead and take the stainless and scrap it, and it's gone.
Unless you operate like Chuck Kale. He's the general manager of Borg Compressed Steel.
We have to have security 24/7. We are more vulnerable to scrap theft than anybody else out there.
If thieves aren't trying to steal from him, they're trying to make a profit off of items they stole from someone else. Kale isn't having any of it.
It's not good for any of us, and anything that we can do to help solve those issues, we certainly want to do.
Wolf says Kale helped him net the man who stole these stainless steel airplane materials worth $84,000.
I'm thrilled that they like to help us.
Wolf says he depends on partnerships like Kale's to stop the thefts, but metal manufacturers also need to watch out for themselves.
They need to keep those precious metals under lock and key. Whatever's an easy grab, they're going to take it.
Stainless steel has come up missing from industrial parks in North Tulsa and Southeast Tulsa. Wolf says leaving any scrap metal behind a fence won't work. Thieves will simply cut right through it. And Clay, people have to take the scraps indoors or come up with a better way to protect themselves. Back to you.
Noel, thank you. If you can help police solve any of the recent metal thefts, call Crime Stoppers. You know the number 596 COPS.
Oral Roberts University hoping changes go smoothly after the Board of Regents agreed to accept a $62 million donation. Well, the board has appointed a transition committee to be chaired by the Reverend Billy Joe Doherty. Businessman Mark Green will take over the board. Former President Richard Roberts has been given an honorary title with no real decision-making power. Oklahoma School Superintendent Sandy Garrett is asking for more funding for education. Garrett is asking for $503 million in additional funding to help pay for increasing costs in operation, teacher raises, and increasing the school year by 5 days. Now, if approved, the request would put the budget for Oklahoma public schools at $3 billion next year.
Just 16 days into the new year, and Tulsa already has 52 reported armed robberies. Fox 23's Marcus Washington with a closer look now at what's happening.
2 armed robberies in the same apartment complex in less than 1 week.
I hate to hear things like that, but especially in this neighborhood.
A neighborhood Cortez Moore and his son call home.
We all got kids around here. Everybody need to pay attention to what's going on.
Moore and his friends say the robberies are all they've been able to talk about.
When they come home, they trying to pay their bills, and we got these little young people out there trying to rob people, man. That's not right.
It's a problem Sergeant Dave Walker says police see all over Tulsa, and more teenagers are committing the crimes.
Police officers say another problem they deal with. Once the victim comes here to the courthouse to testify, all of a sudden they forget how the robber looks, even if they're sitting in front of them. And that robber is able to walk away free.
They don't feel any punishment for that. And then they'll go in, they'll hit 2 or 3, 4 more times before they're caught.
Moore and his friends fear the next time it could be one of them. Sergeant Walker says the best protection is for neighbors to look out for one another.
Our job is to reduce those numbers as best we can, and we can do that as a community if the whole community works together. It's not just the police department's responsibility.
And looking out for one another isn't the only thing. Police officers say being a good witness is critical in solving many of these cases. Proof of that, just this week alone, 17 armed robbers were arrested. In East Tulsa, Marcus Washington, Fox 23 News.
If you know anything about any of the city's armed robberies, police say they really could use your help. Call Crime Stoppers, 596 COPS. Your identity, it is always protected.
So the FBI fears a suspect named in a drug conspiracy may be hiding out somewhere in Tulsa. Agents say he was involved with a former Tulsa police detective and a records clerk. Both of them were convicted in the scheme to give out confidential information. Arrest warrant has been issued for this man. His name is Timothy Dwayne Johnson, but he has the nickname of Flatface. He has been seen in Tulsa, Oklahoma City, as well as Norman. Agents tonight say Johnson should be considered armed and dangerous. Call the FBI at 405-290-7770 if you have seen him. Bixby police are dealing with a theft problem that means danger for drivers. People keep stealing the city's stop signs. More than 100 signs, in fact, were stolen or vandalized last year alone. Now, police say a number of accidents have been caused by all the missing signs, including one that happened at 141st and Sheridan. Officers say if you steal a sign and someone is hurt because of it, you could face felony charges.
They're $100 to $300 a piece. That's a large sum of money. And whether they're damaged or whether they're stolen, if they're not there, it's a safety risk for everyone involved in it.
If you see a stop sign is missing, you are asked to call the Bixby Police Department. That number is 366-8294.
I sang I'll Stand By You by the Pretenders. It all went well. I got 3 yeses.
And at 9:45, more reaction from the latest Idol contestants to make it to Hollywood.
I don't know, Mr. Simpson, what the heck you were thinking, or maybe that's just the problem. You weren't.
Angry words from the judge in O.J. Simpson's latest court appearance. The seriousness of the charges he faces. Next.
O.J. Simpson does not get any special treatment in a Nevada courtroom.
Not this time. No, the NFL Hall of Famer has been in jail since last Friday, and then today a judge doubled his bail. Fox's Casey Stegall explains why.
After another appearance in court today, O.J. Simpson is still stuck in a Las Vegas jail. It all stems from a violation of his terms of release where Simpson called his bail bondsman, Miguel Pereira, and asked him to get in contact with a co-defendant. Clark County District Judge Jackie Glass didn't go easy on the Hall of Famer.
You've been locked up at the Clark County Detention Center since Friday because of either arrogance or ignorance or both.
Simpson, who along with 2 others is facing charges for robbing a sports memorabilia dealer last year, has other worries. He also hasn't paid Pereira the more than $18,000 he was due for posting bail to get Simpson out of jail back in September. But Pereira says today's court date is more about the phone call than paying the money.
Not at the moment, but Mr. Simpson and I had a conversation that after all this is done, that we would settle our debt.
O.J. has been in the Clark County jail since Friday for the violation, and Judge Glass doubled the bail to $250,000.
I want the 15% posted, and then Mr. Simpson can get out of jail.
Judge Glass left a strong message for Simpson.
Mr. Simpson, no contact. That means, again, no phone messages to any third parties. No emails, no letters, nothing.
But Simpson's attorney thinks the case is being handled fairly.
I thought that Judge Glass's decision was appropriate, judicious, and correct.
O.J. Simpson's trial date is set for April 7th. In Las Vegas, Casey Stegall, Fox News.
Simpson and 2 other men face 12 charges related to the alleged robbery of 2 sports memorabilia dealers. The kidnapping charge could lead to life in prison if convicted. Tonight's flash poll question for you. Should O.J. Simpson be sentenced to life in prison? Dial 388-5302 for yes or 5303 for no. Results for you later in the newscast.
Authorities believe the man suspected in the disappearance of a pregnant Marine may have fled to Mexico. Cops believe a pickup truck found at a motel in North Carolina on Tuesday belongs to Cesar Lorian. Lorian was last seen at a bus depot in Louisiana, and court documents tonight show Lorian told other Marines that he would leave the country if it looked like he could be convicted. Meantime, the Marines are coming under fire tonight for not detaining Lorian after Maria Lauterbach accused him of sexual assault before she went missing.
Command NCIS had no information to believe he was a flight risk as it relates to the rape investigation. Again, I just mentioned he showed up for work every day. He was on time. There was nothing at all that would make the United States Marine Corps, NCIS, believe that he was going to leave.
A memorial service was held for Lauterbach in her home state of Ohio last night. Family members want to have a funeral this Friday, but are still waiting for the body to be released from the medical examiner's office.
A former U.S. congressman accused of funding terrorists, Mark Siljander, was indicted today. He's accused of sending thousands of dollars to an al-Qaeda and Taliban supporter. Among other things, Siljander is charged with obstruction of justice. Siljander represented Michigan for 2 terms, and later President Reagan appointed him as a delegate to the UN.
So American Idol Season 7, it's off to a pretty good start. Plenty of American Idol hopefuls from Oklahoma, in fact, are trying out in the big competition, including one lady from Tulsa. And Fox 23's Mia Fleming, she joins us live right now from a very loud watch party. And it's all about this special Idol contestant that they're cheering for. Mia, can you hear me?
Yes, barely. You know, it's so early in the competition, but I think these guys, they've kind of picked someone who's already their favorite. We're talking about Krista Branch from Tulsa. These are all church members, their friends, their family members who are pretty much convinced that she should be the next American Idol. And you know, like most American Idol hopefuls, Krista is not new to singing or performing. In fact, she's been performing professionally for the past 12 years. Now, she did try out for Idol last year, but she didn't get very far. So she decided to try out again this year. And as we saw tonight, she got the golden ticket to LA. And as you can hear, these guys are so excited. And who wouldn't be to see someone they know go try out for a show like American Idol? You're going to hear a lot more from all of us. Reporting live in Bixby right now, Mia Fleming, Fox 23 News.
All right, thank you, Mia. Coming up at 9:45, we're going to hear a lot more from Krista Branch's family and friends about some of her experiences so far in this competition, and we're obviously going to see what Mia has to say about all of that excitement.
What a group they have there tonight. My goodness,
love it.
Hoarse voices tonight.
I know, love it, love it, love it. Okay, so Tulsans will also soon be able to honor Martin Luther King.
And enjoy some good music at the same time. Coming up, find out which local jazz acts will be taking part in this year's Dream Concert.
But first, you'll have to wait just a little bit longer before seeing Boeing's latest project. You're watching Fox 23 News at 9.
This is Fox 23 News at 9.
A Federal Reserve report showing that the economy grew at the end of 2007 kept the market from falling too much. Today, the Dow, however, fell 35 points, closing at 12,466. The Nasdaq dropped 23 points, closing at 2,394. S&P 500 fell 7 to end the day at 1,373. Shares of Boeing facing more turbulence after the company announced it would again delay the first flight of the huge 787 Dreamliner. Boeing says the first delivery won't happen now until 2009. Before this morning's announcement, the Dreamliner program was already 6 months behind schedule. However, the delay is not expected to have a significant impact on Boeing's 2008 earnings estimate.
All right, Clay, it is all that jazz and much, much more in downtown Tulsa this year. The Oklahoma Jazz Hall of Fame announcing its first concert of the year today. It's a Dream Concert. It's to honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It will feature performances from Bishop Carlton Pearson and the New Dimensions Choir. It will also kick off the Jazz Hall's Spring Concert Series.
The Jazz Hall of Fame has been in this location now going on 6 months. And I can remember when it was just a dream, but this dream has now become a reality.
Very nice. So glad it has become a reality. It's beautiful. The Dream Concert is Thursday, January 24th at the Jazz Depot. Ticket prices start at $10. Should be phenomenal.
I can hardly wait. Such wonderful things happening downtown. All of Oklahoma looking at it, and really across the nation looking at what's being developed here.
I know, and Chuck Sissel running that, he's a gem to have here in Tulsa as well.
Yeah, talented man.
All right.
To another talented man when
Mr.
it comes
John
to the
Slater.
weather.
Hi, John.
We're jazzing up the weather tonight. Hello. I tell you what, strong cold fronts coming through the Tulsa area right now.
but most of the heavy snow is staying well off to our north tonight. Let's check out today's weather. We started out mild, low 40s, ended up pretty chilly with some light rain and drizzle, upper 40s this afternoon in Tulsa. Well, what about the next several days? How much snow, if any, and how cold will it get? Forecast is coming up.
All right, John, the state lottery was supposed to help Oklahoma schools, but that may not be the case for at least one area district.
We do want to let you know it's not too late for you to vote in the flash poll tonight. The question, if you missed it, should O.J. Simpson be sentenced to life in prison? Be right back.